You know, Ken, walking down the mall in the late afternoon is like walking down the aisle of a great cathedral. And it's the greatest congregation, the greatest assemblage of American elms in the world.
In 2008, my friend Ned Barnard came to me and asked if I'd be interested in creating a few maps for a book he was writing about the trees of Central Park. Well, the timing was perfect. I had just ended a long professional relationship and I was interested in starting something new and exciting. So I met with Ned and we began walking around Central Park. Hey Ned.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this. I think this is a box elder.
You know, I didn't know there was one in Central Park. Here we've got an obvious box elder with composite leaves. This is so exciting, Ken.
We made notes, took photographs, and sketched details of trails and park architecture. Now, Ned Barnard is a walking field guide of tree information, and although I had been birding in Central Park for over 2 decades, Ned introduced me to the park in a way that I had never experienced it before.
Here we are, Ken. We're in the northern extreme of the park. This area has never been planted, and yet we're loaded with foreigners. We've got a sycamore maple here, a Norway maple, and look what's coming up, another Norway maple.
Basically, I became a tree lover. Here is the American chestnut, the only one in Central Park, probably the only one in New York. I decided that I wanted to learn everything that I could about the trees of Central Park and to include as many as possible on my map. On this side of the path we have an American beech. Look at the color on that. As with beeches, you could see the trunk is a very smooth, pearly gray color. In producing my map, I used a wide variety of map references, but I found in each case that there were inaccuracies. Things were left out, data was wrong, or in some cases it was just simply outdated. The world had changed, and so had Central Park. In order to create the map that I wanted to create, I realized I had to get out there and Lewis and Clark it. I had to walk every path and I had to map every woodland trail. Okay, we're on the trail now, and you can see this is a network of a lot of different trails that crisscross. This required several visits here to get these trails just right, but that's what makes the map unique. It contains every woodland trail that I could find in Central Park. I also had to study every shoreline and note every rock formation, and most importantly, I had to identify every tree species. Oh, now here's a one-of-a-kind oak. This is a Spanish oak, Quercus falcata. In addition to the world of nature, I also created over 200 illustrations of every man-made feature in the park. Every monument, every bridge, every archway, every tunnel, every building is identified and placed on the map. Every time I come into this park, I find something new, some minor addition to add to the map. Well, after 2 years, the Great Hill is one of the highest places in Central Park. It's also one of my favorite places. 3 pairs of running shoes, 843 acres, over 500 miles of trails. This is where we are now. We came up that little stone stairway, see that right there, between the rocks? And thousands of trees. Here's a swamp laurel oak, the only one in the park. Here's a swamp white oak, an enormous shingle oak. And what do we have here? Oh, this is a chestnut oak. Look at the color on that tree. Beautiful chestnut oak. I'm finally ready to kick back, relax, and spend some time in the great indoors. But you know what? I will probably be back in the park next week.